pit patios, retaining walls, entry pillars, and gate. So there's 6 little items. Located 1 Copac Lane, Palisades, New York, Chapter 12, Code of Orangetown, Section 12-4, Historic Area Board of Review, tax lot number 78.13/1/3.16 and R40 zone. If you explain your project.
Jump into it.
No, you gotta
All
sign
sit
it.
here.
Oh.
You gotta sign it.
Come up to it, and you can introduce who you are, walk us through what you're doing.
I'm Matthew Jones.
Christina Aiello.
I'm the landscape architect for the project, and Christina's the homeowner.
Okay.
So what we're looking to do is do some pretty substantial landscape improvements in the front and backyard. We're not touching the house whatsoever. The house stays the same. But can I go up to the?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Plenty of time.
You can take that mic off of the public one if you want, and turn it on to speak into that while you're away from the desk.
So this is Copac Lane, and we're here on the corner of 9W and Copac. As it stands, if you're on Copac and you're looking directly at the front of the house, right around the front door, an earthen berm begins, and it carries all the way around the corner down 9W until it connects into the rear slope of the property. So what we're looking to do is, right where the berm starts to grow, we want to nestle 1 entry column into that berm, then carry a low decorative fence, like the wall pole fence shown there, along the front of Copac until it hits 1 more pier, and then there'll be an entry gate that's automatic. It's partly for aesthetics and partly just for a little security since of the proximity to 9W. The landscape in the front will be layered. I have an existing conditions picture here, like from a similar angle. So like the first pier starts here where the berm begins, and then we'll have summer beauty allium, a boxwood hedge, and then the fence, and then behind the fence on the house side is some butterfly bush and other perennials, and then we're dotting in some ornamental trees. And then you can see here the low piers and gate that will span the driveway. The front is more just to bring more continuity to what we're doing in the back, which is like a pretty large overhaul of the backyard. Right now, there's a small paver patio, a big flat lawn. You can see the earthen berm on the left and the big slope in the back. Also tucked in the far right corner is this old like paver patio walkway landing system. It's in the conservation easement. We're going to rip all that out gently, regrade it, and plant back there so that that's gone. Because right now it's just overlooking the neighbor's shed and it's just nowhere where we want to be. So we're relocating a fire pit area centered on the back porch, which has a relationship to the living room inside the house. So you have hot tub with a patio, the pool, and then we're going to build a retaining wall in the back. Because right now we have these pretty steep slopes that are part of the berm, and you can't plant anything substantial on those because of the slope. So we're going to build some retaining walls in order to level off the area up top so that we can have a layered planting scheme. So this is the 9W side. We have a retaining wall. It's mostly 3 feet tall. It jumps up another 6 inches where we're dotting in these 2 crepe myrtles on the 2 ends. But then it's just like a gentle slope with layered plantings until you get to this back evergreen hedge that'll be at the top of the berm.
What's the, is it?
From north? Yeah. So we are, yeah, this berm is on the east side of the property. No.
What runs along 9W? That'd be the east.
Yeah, but this is the eastern boundary. So we got north, the house faces north, is north facing, and then it's west and south. There's no wall, there's no wall on 9W. Oh, yeah, so in the backyard, we are going to like chew into the berm a little bit, because right now it's just like a continuous slope. We're gonna chew into that berm to build a retaining wall.
Because the berms were very important at the time that.
Yeah, the nature of the berm still remains. It's there to like keep sound down. We're just looking to make it prettier, because when you look at the berm from the backyard, it's really tough to plant on a slope like this. So like the trees and everything on 9W, we're not touching anything on that side. We're just looking to organize this stretch of backyard with the wall. Then we'll backfill the wall, and then we'll have some level land to plant this like more extensive landscape above the wall. But like the berm still ends where it ends, and on the 9W side is not being disturbed. We're doing a similar thing in the back, because right now there's like a big line of leatherleaf viburnum, and they just kind of like hang out on the hill. We're gonna build a wall to create this sort of like walled-in courtyard, really, for the backyard, because right now it feels like you're in a bowl because of the berm and the slope in the back. We're just gonna make it more inviting with the wall, and then we'll have a set of stairs like midway up, so that we can have this fire pit overlooking the pool towards the back of the house, just to give the owners another vantage point of their backyard. The pool is flanked by 2 large lawn areas. There is like a little walking path to a destination bistro table off to the side. You can see that better on the aerial, actually, there. Okay. I have it in color here. So off the driveway, you enter into this little entry garden. These trees are here to stop any sort of like angles that you might be able to see into the backyard. But then this is the existing porch. You got the hot tub, the pool, this little destination seating area. The lawn is flanked by some stepping stones, and then just lots of layered landscaping. The right-hand side, the west side, has a mature spruce hedge, so we're just planting some hydrangeas in front of that. From a material standpoint, the stones there, they reflect like the color tones of the wall, the browns and grays and tans. They're gonna be more square and rectangular, so I have this image, but even this is like a little too perfect. They'll have like a more rustic natural look to it. And we're using bluestone because there's already bluestone on the property in the back porch, just for continuity's sake. That's really the gist of it. I brought the engineer's plan, but it's pretty simple. There is a seepage tank going, but that's unrelated to this.
Did you mention the patio, and do you have any materials?
I didn't bring bluestone just because it's bluestone. Yeah. But the image, that's what it'll be. Thermal bluestone.
Okay, 'cause that's the wall. Okay.
Yeah, and that's for the walls. So that's just the front, again, from like the same angle up the street. This like white inconspicuous square is the house. I didn't detail the house, but it'll have a charming look to it along the front. Everything else is really tucked in the back. You won't see it from outside the property. You'll have to be in the backyard to see any of this because of the landscaping.
The entry pillars, part of the fence.
Yeah. So the 3 feet tall, there's 1, 2, 3. So one nestled where the berm starts in the front. Then it's just a low decorative fence, and then you've got 2 piers that will house the gate.
From 9W, you'll see this row of whatever they are, like arborvitae or something.
Yeah, at the precipice of the berm, you'll see the arbs, yeah.
The pillars made of that also?
Yes,
How high?
3 feet. There will be a pool coat fence, but this is purely aesthetic. There'll be like a black aluminum pool coat fence.
That you should show us.
I could maybe I don't have any images.
Or explain, is it wrought iron?
It'll be aluminum. It looks like wrought iron, but it's aluminum pickets,
Black.
black.
That's this here.
That line is actually like the limit of disturbance silt fence. The fence line,
Oh, the fence is here?
I'm just concerned that there will be a safety fence going all around.
yes. So off of, here,
For the pool.
so here,
I guess it's this is the fence.
this line with the circles is the fence.
Right.
And that comes to the property and then ties back in at the back of the garage. And there'll be two self-closing gates on the
Just
sides.
so we like to see
The fence.
what we're approving.
I could probably pull up something on my phone really fast. Yeah,
Or explain, you can see through it, it's like.
you can. It's very see-through. The plants are gonna grow through it, so it's designed to disappear,
Okay.
but it's not like it's gonna be chain link fence or something along the berm.
And how high is that?
That has to be 4 feet tall.
All right.
It's going to be black, did you say?
Yeah, the engineer's plan. No. So like on the driveway side, it'll be behind a hedge, so you'll only see that gate, so it'll be like an arch top black aluminum gate with vertical pickets. Over here, you won't see it at all. At the top of the berm, there is still like plants on the downside of the berm towards 9W that we're not touching, but the arborvitae will grow through the pickets, so ultimately the idea is the fence always disappears. Like we want you to see the wall pole fence, but not the pool code fence.
Great design in the backyard, it's gonna be great.
Thank you.
Any questions? You guys good? Any questions on the board? Yeah, anybody in the audience for comment?
Just so, I mean,
Hmm?
I'm standing on 9W, okay, looking at the side that we're gonna see after this. Look different in any way.
At the top of the berm, we will have evergreens, whereas right now it's like a spattering of like red maples and some white pine. There's actually a tree that fell over, a handful of like grasses. So the only thing that will be different is at the top of the berm, you'll see an evergreen hedge.
And how
They'll grow to 30 feet tall, but when we start, they'll be 8 to 10 feet tall.
So it's gonna give you more privacy?
Yes,
And we are not looking at it.
exactly, yeah, yeah.
That good?
That's it, yeah.
Okay, this would be, thank you very much. No other comments,
You wanna make a motion?
we close and then do the amendment thing?
Close this project.
Okay. Make a motion to close, we have a
I
second.
move to close.
Okay, we'll close the meeting and second, we'll make
I'm just
a,
gonna take a picture of this one real quick.
thank you very much.
Thank you.
Now, we have another item, it's other business, the Pinell Group
Oh, okay, no worries.
for, Fern and Bedford LLC, 140 Washington State Road. This, I believe is an amendment to the decision we had property. Walk us through
you want to take your rock?
Can we vote on anything on this?
I think so. Is he allowed to take his rock?
Do we have-
Yeah, I think,
Do we have a quorum?
we do.
Three's apart.
Is she left? We're still
Okay.
there.
Chairperson, if you just want to put on the record, yes,
Yeah.
so if you want to put on the record that, this is the only recused yourself,
Okay.
just so the record's clear.
Okay, yeah, Marjorie's left. Okay.
I'm Cynthia Costa Trahan, attorney, 56 North Broadway, Nyack, New York. All right.
Walk us through it here.
Sure, so this might be evident just on the paperwork submitted. I'm not sure you need me to explain it that much, but I have lots of background, so I'll tell you as much as you'd like to know.
Of course, yeah.
So, going back to 2021, 2 owners ago, there was an interior and exterior permit pulled. Great deal of renovations, interior, more modestly, exterior. The owner was in contract to sell to Kathleen Gasich, her husband, in September of '21. At that time, the municipal violation searches that are run through the town when you purchase a house were running about 6 months from beginning to end. Kathleen and her husband wanted to buy right away, and the seller said, "Don't worry, I'm going to get the new CO for all the renovations, so we can close when that CO is issued." So the new CO was issued October of '21 for renovations, and that had a whole list of things. Unbeknownst to us, there had been the 2 permits, one exterior and one interior. So even though there was an exterior open permit existing, when the building department examined for the interior renovations, they approved and closed out that one building permit and issued the CO. No mention at that time of the variations on the elevation or the door hardware or the door hardware and one other item that you previously.
The windows?
Yeah, the windows. Well, it was the light fixture. I think it was the light fixture, the hardware, weren't mentioned. So it closed, we had a new CO, and then same person is sold to the applicant here. At that time, we got a building violations search that came back that simply said, open building permit for exterior things. I think too much of it, because nothing had changed since 2021. No work had been done, nothing had changed. It was at that time that it was discovered that these things, the hardware and the lights were changed, but there were 2 other items that weren't clearly noted as differences on the elevation plan. So I think everybody has copies, but the very specific thing that needed to be articulated here so that your March 10th approval is amended to reflect more accurately that there were 2 items that were on the original plan. One was shown to be, it was going to be a replacement new window, and this was going to be a door. It wasn't done. This is the COVID scarcity differences, et cetera. And so are shown as opposed to the blue that was on the original elevation. So what they used was older style. This is sorry, I'm doing it backwards. Older window, not a new fabricated window. This was a historic window. And then this was a new window that was fabricated. small privacy window, and then this was that. I think the unique thing here is, it's all been here since 2021. The, the concept of interfering with the look of the section or the neighborhood or having any problems is somewhat of a,
Sure.
please.
What would you have us do?
I believe the amendment here is to make sure that you put on the record that these alterations from the original plan, that were shown, that these have been viewed and approved, in addition to the fact that the shutters were done in accordance with the original plan, and that the light fixture that was installed instead of the one that they had previously hoped to get, and the hardware on the door that was installed instead of the hardware that they were originally supposed to get, is all approved. Because I think the record, it wasn't clear to the building department, and they didn't want to override your discretion, your decision, that these
Okay.
5 things were all okay.
Now, all I need to do is to get this into the formation of a motion, you see. So, maybe,
I know, it's hard because I'm coming in having not experienced the last meeting since
right,
Mr. Glasser was out of the country, and
I don't think any, I may be wrong about this, I don't think anything in the ordinance.
No, I don't.
which part? The original owners making the change? As best I mean, it's hearsay completely because I wasn't involved in that. The best I understand the problem to have been was that in conjunction with the inspections that were done for the renovations, the owner identified the changes to the building inspector and thought that that was enough in the process of the plan.
They approved it.
Well, I think that they point to this board to approve anything, and they were just there nodding their head, and then, but didn't say, well, you can't do that with me, you've got to go back to the board. And then when the CO was issued, excuse me?
Did something, what did she do? She made.
Kathy and Ed, the last owners?
No, it,
Okay, so to the person who bought, who renovated the whole house,
okay,
was the one who had conversations with the building inspector, pointing to what had changed,
okay.
these
And
things.
he shakes,
He said that he pointed them out, and then he gets the CO for the renovations. If there could have been more clarity, I guess at that point, it would have been for him to say, I can't do anything more on this if you've altered what's been approved, right, before the board, this board, then the building inspector's discretion or power has to stop and be referred back, similar to what's happening here today. Because after the March 10th decision was made, the building inspector felt that there was a lack of clarity on these 2 things and said, I can't do this, you have to go back to the board. So it was done correctly in 2026. It might have been omitted or overlooked in 2021. That's how it happened. And from 2021 to 2025, the people who owned the property didn't do anything. They didn't make any changes or alterations. So this came as a surprise to them because we closed with the issuance of the CO for the renovated house.
And you're here on behalf of the new owners. who have
Correct.
Nothing to do with any of this.
They have definitely nothing to do with any of this.
They've inherited this mess.
Right, right. I mean, they just, yeah,
All right.
yeah. I don't know if you're shaking your head, so I don't think I've answered your question yet.
Sorry, I don't want to mistake.
I mean, I'm not sure,
For personally, me, I don't feel.
okay, I mean,
Do you want to tell me what,
I mean, at this point,
what point?
if I may, I just think that the unique circumstance here, which is a little bit different than what I think you normally are dealing with, where plans are proposed and you're trying to assess the impact to the community and the historical nature and what it will do to other people's interpretation, enjoyment, and general vibe of the whole area.
Harmonious, yeah.
And you're trying to make sure that before anything happens, it's been looked at. This did go through the process and unfortunately exists, but it exists for 5 years and without any contradictory problems to the community.
And who does it go back into?
I'm sorry.
Who was the one that it would go back? Who was it?
Who submitted those original plans to you?
Yeah, whatever. Tell me at the end of it, why are we
Well, why are we discussing it now? Because there's an open building permit that equates to a violation on the property. And the only way that it can get closed is if for an issuance of the CO, but the CO can't be issued by the board, the building department, in their opinion, without the board specifically approving these changes that were from the elevation plan to what actually was installed.
So, yes, we've addressed this before. My understanding, I think council did a thorough job of explaining the whole facts, communicating to her. What's been communicated to me similar is that the previous owners at one point did appear in front of the historic board. And when this all, I suppose, came up again, when the building department had to go back and inspect the property, the building department did take notice that there were certain aspects of the renovations not in conformity with the prior historical board decision. So that is kind of why the applicant got here back in March, and then in reviewing the decision that was issued by the board, there were certain aspects, again, of the renovations that weren't spoken about directly during the course of that presentation, that the board would need to deliberate on and decide on to make sure that those particular changes that were made to the are harmonious and, apply the same standards as you always do. It's akin to situations that I know the board has dealt with this before. It is akin to situations where you've had people, for instance, that have gone ahead and they just did a renovation, and for, lack of knowledge or lack of, looking into the issues further and lack of exploring the fact that they were in the historical board district, just did it anyway. And then when the building department, for whatever reason, became advised of that change, then advises the homeowner to go to the historic board, even though the bell has already been rung, for so to speak, for lack of a better phrase. So that's, I think, in essence, what is happening here is that these changes, as they have been made, they have been existing on the property, and you're making a finalized review of those changes to ensure that they are in conformity with the historic nature of the district. And based upon that decision that you'll be rendering as a board, the building department will know how to proceed further and will know whether or not there's any type of
these are the things.
that are there now.
These are the things, they're there, they've existed since 2001. These are the two items that differ from the plan that weren't articulated when Seth Glasser was here in March 10th.
So there's two,
And this was what it was originally proposed to be. A window of a different shape. That they put in a more historic window. And this door was turned into a porthole window for a little more privacy in a bathroom as opposed to a door. Which is in the rear of the house, so similar to a lot of what was going on this, it's,
Once again, we unfortunately come here and ask us ex post facto to approve something that's already been done. And over the years, by and large, we've held our noses and agreed to whatever's been done, unless it's egregious, in which case we say, no, you've got to do something else. Applicant now, sense, has nothing to do with this whatsoever. They are in no way responsible. I don't think they can be held responsible, and I don't think that they've been held up long enough. I think we should just give them what they want.
and in this particular house, it wasn't completely done without board a process. They did go through the process and then post-approval for a variety of things that they've, construction changes, scarcity, whatever. They made these changes and together with the light fixture was different and door hardware.
And they still look historic.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not, that's for you to say, not me, but.
Yeah, and I believe that those were reviewed at the last meeting by the board. Aspects of those renovations were, so.
It's my understanding that the approval was there and the articulation of these two items being very specifically put on the record so that the building inspector, the building department could say that they didn't override it.
That's your position.
Well, that's what we were told from the building department. You must go back to see the historic board because these two things weren't articulated. That's why the plans were made with a graphic so as to highlight them.
So, essentially you would be applying the same exact standard as you would. At this point, the building department has the sole discretion as to, along with the town code, of course. The building department, though, has the authority to determine what types of modifications or renovations would go in front of the historic board, right? And traditionally, those are changes that you would have to make when somebody has to apply for a permit in order to make it. So right now, all those steps, like, you're here now. So the building department has already made this determination that at this point, the historic board has to review what has been presented previously on March 10th, I think that was the meeting, and now this evening on April 14th. So it's, whatever happened previously has happened. The building department has taken review and has directed the applicant to now come back and to have these parts of their renovations reviewed. Applying the same standard as you would to any other applicant that would come in, as if they've never picked up a hammer before and never made a renovation before. You're looking at the photographs and you're making an assessment as to whether or not you feel, in your opinion, as a member of this board, if
No, there's no disagreement whatsoever.
Okay.
It's a clerical bookkeeping snafu that has unfortunately, because of time and transfer, festered.
Okay.
So I think it seems a lot worse based on that delay of time. The only,
And so there are no people fighting each other?
nobody's fighting, everybody's just patiently hopeful that these two things that have existed for 5+ years could be officially approved, so the building permit can be closed, and the file, so to speak, on the house will be pristine. That's it. That's the only, they're just trying to really,
Has everybody agreed?
yeah, they're very hopeful and agreeable that that would be, I mean, there was a thought that tonight was very procedural of nature and not so actually much to decide, just to say on the record that these two things have now been articulated and not missed.
Thank you. Okay. Any more questions on the board?
They can take a vote.
Or the studio?
We have to close the meeting and.
Yeah.
So my suggestion is just a purely housekeeping matter, maybe perhaps vote on this application first, just because.
Okay,
and then Ms.
reverse
Gale-
it?
Yes, Ms.
Oh, we
Gale
could do
can
that.
come in to vote on
Okay.
the first application.
All right, nobody in the audience see this, so I'm gonna make a motion to a second to close the meeting. I think we're good.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, we'll close it and we'll talk about this project first. Anyway, I'm fine with the minor changes.
I'll make a motion that we accept the changes as presented.
I'll second that. Favor?
Aye.
You got 3 yeses. Well, you're good. Thank you so much for
Thank
coming
you.
in. Here's your things.
Yes, absolutely.
And there's nothing else, okay. All right, now, I'm gonna give you,
We have to get margaritas back.
oh, okay, let's get them. Here, I wanna give you these. You might like them for the homeowner. They're so nice, very
Oh, cool. Yeah.
expensive, you know?
Thank you.
The 3 pints. Anyway, yeah, we'll get it for you.
We gotta make the motion.
Yes, you gotta come.
We got it.
Would you tell Marjorie to
I'll
walk
go
in?
from-
And we'll vote on the other thing.
But you should keep these in your.
So she's not for sure. Thank you.
I'm waiting for her to come, I don't know where she is.
Would you open the door when she comes and locks?
Uh,
Yep, see, she's taking it.
Just wait,
I don't know why it's locked.
I'll explain later.
okay. We're gonna discuss the